Ni tarehe 8 Februari mwaka wa 2024 pale ulipo mpenzi mtazamaji wa runinga hii ya MBCI na kipindi hiki cha Raushwa, tukitumia kwamba uko mzima buheri wa afya. Sorry about yesterday, we were not able to be with you, but we were preparing something for you, and also we want to give you some good news ya kwamba katika siku ambazo zimepita tumekuwa na changamoto ya kutofika katika baadhi ya maeneo katika taifa hili, lakini sasa mafundi wetu wa mitambo wakafanya kila hali iwe sawa, na sasa hivi ninaamini ya kwamba kule ambako tuko tunapatikana tumeweza kupatikana na kila kitu kimerejelea katika hali iliyo shwari kabisa. Now yesterday kule ambako tulikuwa tu just within, tulikuwa na mwenzangu Rachel, and we were also making sure ya kwamba siku ya leo tumekuandalia a very wonderful conversation. This is one conversation that you don't want to miss. Let me tell you, kama umekuwa na shida ama katika familia yenu kumekuwa na tatizo la diabetes, ama kumekuwa na tatizo la kitu ambacho kinaitwa high blood pressure. Ndio inaitwa hilo jina lingine limepotea.
Hypertension.
Yes, hypertension. Ama kuna issue na cardiovascular diseases. Let me tell you, kama kumekuwa na those issues, believe you me, today's conversation is going to be an eye opener. You don't want to miss it. And when we tell you that we don't want to miss it, just know that we mean exactly what we are telling you. So tell a friend to tell a friend ya kwamba hata kama jana hatukuwa hapa hewani, kuna mambo tumekuandalia, because what? I didn't know, you know, ya kwamba diabetes and high blood pressure na cardiovascular diseases ama conditions, kuna vile ambavyo kwa njia moja au nyingine zinaweza kuwa zinahusiana. Yani, that was a wonderful one.
It was an eye opener. And very soon after this discussion yenye tutakuwa nayo, very soon you're going to have now another sit down where I will allow you to ask all the questions you'd want to ask. Just a Q&A. Because I know that today as we listen to this particular discussion, tutakuwa, in fact, isn't the zile discussions unasikizanga ukiwa na pen na book, because you're going to learn a lot. So today's topic, you don't want to miss it.
Exactly.
So we'll be having an amazing show today, and of course tutakuwa tukianza na the daily updates, because you're a Kenyan and you just have to know what's happening in your country, and then we'll be getting into the Tegasikio of the day, which is really amazing. I was really hoping nitapewa hint kidogo, but wacha tungoje kwanza mpaka tufike on air. So I know today's show is going to be really amazing. After that, tutakuwa tunaingia ndani ya the topic of discussion, as we've told you that we were preparing an amazing discussion for you guys. So hii nayo hautaki kumiss. After that, we'll be getting into the today's inspiration, and of course amazing songs of the day. My name is Rachel Kahugu. Tutakuwa hapa mpaka 10 in the AM.
That is true. Kamiti is my very good name. So tunaingia ndani ya the daily updates, because you're a Kenyan, and because of that you deserve to know what is happening in your country. Ni kujuza baadhi ya taarifa ambazo zimeweza kugonga vichwa vya habari kutoka hapa nchini Kenya. Mbili za humu nchini na moja ya kimataifa, na kupitia MBCI Radio, ikiwa ni saa 6 adhuhuri ama saa 10 alasiri, saa 1 jioni ama saa 3 usiku. Undani wa taarifa hizi utaweza kupokea kwa njia iliyo safi kabisa. Natanguliza hapa ambapo Mahakama Kuu imetoa amri ya kusitisha kwa muda malipo ya karo ya shule za upili za umma kupitia tovuti ya serikali ya e-Citizen. Jaji Chacha Mwita alisema kwamba baada ya kusoma maombi ya kesi hiyo yaliyowasilishwa kwake, aliridhika kwamba swala muhimu lilikuwa limeangaziwa. Kwenye barua iliyoandikwa tarehe 31 mwezi Januari mwaka huu, Katibu wa Elimu ya Msingi Belio Kipsang aliwaagiza wazazi kulipa karo kupitia tovuti ya serikali ya e-Citizen. Jaji Mwita alisema kwamba maagizo zaidi kuhusiana na kesi hiyo yatatolewa tarehe 13 mwezi Februari mwaka huu. Serikali imekuwa kwenye harakati ya kuweka huduma zote kwenye tovuti ya e-Citizen ili kuimarisha utoaji huduma. Rais William Ruto alipowahutubia Wakenya wanaoishi nchini Japan siku ya Jumanne, alisema kwamba sera hiyo mpya inayohitaji karo ya shule kulipwa kupitia tovuti ya e-Citizen inalenga kuondolea mbali malipo ambayo si halali yanayotozwa na baadhi ya shule. Alisema kwamba serikali imejitolea kuhakikisha kwamba inakamilisha uhamisho wa mifumo ya malipo kwa mfumo huo wa kidijitali. Na tunasonga mbele mpenzi mtazamaji, ambapo washukiwa 4 wanaohusishwa na mlipuko wa gesi eneo la Embakasi uliotokea juma lililopita ambapo hadi kufikia sasa watu 7 wamefariki, watazuiliwa kwa muda wa siku 21 kutoa fursa kwa maafisa wa polisi kukamilisha uchunguzi. Washukiwa hao ni pamoja na mmiliki wa kituo hicho cha gesi Derek Kimathi, Joseph Makau, David Walunya Ongare na Marian Mutete Kioko, ambao ni maafisa wa shirika la taifa linalosimamia mazingira NEMA. Hakimu anayesikiliza kesi hiyo Dolphina Alego alikubaliana na upande wa mashtaka kwamba swala hilo linahusiana na maslahi ya umma na maafisa upelelezi wanahitaji muda zaidi ili kufanya uchunguzi wa kina. Upande wa mashtaka uliambia mahakama kuwa watu hao 4 walikuwa wamejificha tangia kuripotiwa kwa kesi hiyo na rasilimali nyingi zimetumika kuwasaka, na kuongeza kuwa hawapaswi kuachiliwa kwa thamana ya pesa taslimu. Wana hao wanachunguzwa kuhusiana na mauaji, utepetevu na utumizi mbaya wa mamlaka. Takriban watu wengine 300 walijeruhiwa katika mkasa huo uliotokea wiki jana. Kesi hiyo itatajwa tarehe tarehe 28 mwezi huu. Na katika habari za kimataifa ni kwamba picha za watu waliokuwa wakitoroka katikati mwa Sake kuelekea Goma zilisambazwa kwenye mitandao ya kijamii jana. Mapigano makali katika milima juu ya bonde la Saka kitovu kiko kati ya kilomita 20 na 25 magharibi mwa Goma yamewalazimisha maelfu ya watu kutoroka makwao siku ya Jumatano. Milio ya risasi nzito na nyepesi iliyosikika kwenye vilima vya Nturo 1, Nturo 2 na maeneo mengine karibu na Sake imesababisha watu kuogopa na kukimbia, kulingana na mkuu wa kikundi cha kiraia cha Kamuronza ambapo kitovu cha Sake kinapatikana katika eneo la Masisi. Aliambia magazeti ya Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo. Emile Bolingo anaishi katika eneo la Mugunga katika mji wa Goma. Amesema kwamba watu wengi kutoka Sake walianza kuwasili Mugunga kuanzia saa 3 za asubuhi. Mkuu wa M23 Bertrand Bisimwa amesema kuwa vikosi vyao viliteka kambi za kijeshi la serikali kwenye vilima vya Nturo 1, Nturo 2 na Chezi Madimba juu ya Sake. Siku ya Jumanne jioni, msemaji wa jeshi la Kongo FARDC alitangaza kwamba wamerejesha tena kituo kilichopo kwenye eneo la Kiroshe kwenye barabara ya Sake Minova, na wanapigania kufungua mji wa Goma na kuachilia barabara zinazoelekea kwenye maeneo ya mazao. Upande wa serikali haujatangaza lolote kuhusu mapigano hayo ambayo yanasemekana kufika karibu sana na kituo cha Sake. Kuna wasiwasi kuhusu uwezo wa kuhifadhi mamia kwa maelfu ya wakimbizi zaidi ambao tayari wamekimbia mapigano kutoka sehemu tofauti za Masisi na Rushuru, huko mashirika ya kibinadamu yakisema kwamba wanaishi katika hali mbaya kutokana na ukosefu wa misaada. Hizo ni baadhi ya taarifa ambazo zimegonga vichwa vya habari, and of course kupitia MBCI Radio. Kama vile ambavyo nimekujuza ni kwamba taarifa hizo na zinginezo utaweza kuzipokea kwa undani zaidi. Kwa sasa hivi tuingie katika siku ile ya Tega Sikio ndo tukaweze kujua leo ndani ya Tega Sikio tutakuwa tunajifunza mambo gani. Kumekuwa kuna kulalamika kwingi sana kutokana na mitambo na wiki hii nafikiri katika wiki jana, lakini sasa mafundo wa mitambo wamejaribu sana, na nafikiri kwamba leo mambo si mabaya vile, na ni vizuri ukatueleza kule ambako uliko, kama unatupokea kwa njia iliyo safi kabisa, unatuambia lako jina na pia kutuambia huko uliko. Tena sijui yule ambaye atajua, lakini niliona hata kuna watu ambao walikuwa nakwenda kwenye mitandao ya kijamii jana, Facebook, niliona mmoja ambaye alikuwa anasema MBCI tumeikosa sana, but now we are here. We are back to thank and we thank the Lord. Now chukue muda mfupi zaidi kwa sababu ya mazungumzo ambayo nimekuambia tumekuandalia. Na tumekuambia hivi tukiwa na Rachel ya kwamba kama kwenu ama wewe ni mtu ambaye labda kwa njia moja au nyingine ushaelezwa kwamba uko katika hatari ya kupata ugonjwa wa kisukari, unafahamika kama diabetes, ama high blood pressure, hypertension, ama matatizo ya moyo. Yesterday hata kama tukuwa hewani kuna mambo tulikuandalia mazuri sana, and there was just an amazing conversation. Let me tell you, those two gentlemen kutoka kule Outspan Medical College tuliweza kuwa na kikao na wao jana, na wakatueleza siri nyingi about hypertension, about your vascular disease. And let me, this is one conversation. Sasa hapo no, it's on you. It was an amazing one.
Yeah.
Now, wacha kwanza tuangalie tega sikio ya leo. Na tega sikio hii sijui itakuwa ndo vipi. Na hii ni tega sikio moja. Hii sijui tutaita a master class or something.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Okay.
Now, it was about this doctor. You know, unajua ilikuwa hii jana wakati ambapo sasa tuko na madaktari.
Yeah.
Lakini sasa because we'll be having that conversation, that is why iko
leo.
So this doctor alikuwa anajulikana sana ya kwamba yeye ni specialist kwa watu ambao wana matatizo ya kuchomea.
Okay.
Iwe ndo maji moto ama ni moto. Alikuwa anajulikana kwamba ukipelekwa katika ile hospitali wakati ambapo uko na matatizo inaitwa burns. Yeye alikuwa anajulikana kwamba hamna daktari mwingine ambaye angekushughulikia kama yule.
Okay.
Yani ni kama vile ambavyo alikuwa amespecialize sana. You know, na those issues na mambo ya skin grafting na nini. Yani alikuwa anajulikana sana katika hilo eneo ya kwamba yeye akiwa mahali ambapo kuna issue kama hiyo, everything is gonna be okay.
Okay.
Okay? And because of that, mwelekezi wangu huyu ambaye yuko Mr. Martin. And because of that, akawa ana sifa sana. Na akawa kwamba kuna watu wengi sana ambao walikuwa wanakwenda katika hiyo hospitali wakati ambapo labda kumetokea mikasa kama hii.
Okay.
You know? Sasa siku moja ameshinda yuko busy. Well, angetreat magonjwa mengine, but ingefikia ni kesi kama hizi. Alikuwa amespecialize sana. Ni kama vile ambavyo mpaka hata unaona watangazaji. Unapata ya kwamba ndio unaweza ukafanya kuripoti kule kwenye kule nje, unaweza ukakuwa a radio presenter, but inafika na mahali unafeel ya kwamba mimi when it comes to editing, I think that is what I like the most. You know? Kama mimi ikifikia ni mambo ya news anchoring, that was my first love. That is what got me into what I do today. You know? Ikifika ni news, I don't really try to sisemi hivyo kujisifu, but nasema tu. Like unapata you don't sijui nini mambo mingi. Unapata tu kuna vile ambavyo ina flow because kuanzia mwanzo, that is what I love. You know? Not that I don't like Raushwa, but ninajua kwamba ikifikia ni katika kusoma taarifa za habari na kufanya a bit of research here and there about news and all that, I like that a lot. You know?
Okay.
So iko hivyo. Hata wewe kuna kile ambacho unapenda sana. Sasa siku moja huyu daktari ameshinda yuko busy hospitalini. Ameshinda huko nini, and then ikafika time akaenda home.
Okay.
Akaenda home akapata mke wake na alikuwa na watoto wadogo. So okay, sijui nitaiwekaje kwa njia ambayo itaeleweka, but now you unajua kwa tega sikio sugar coating is not allowed. So we say things as they are. Alikuwa amehappen ya kwamba mke wake alikuwa a bit how do you say narcissistic or something.
Okay.
You know? And let me tell you, okay, wacha nisiende huko. But alikuwa na those character traits, you know? Na unajua a narcissistic person, utamjua tu. You know, how they conduct, how they relate with people, you'll know. So I think alikuwa na that trait in a way. You know? Jakana kujia. So akaenda home, na si amefika, si ndiye baba wa nyumba. Amefika, watoto wake is there. So alifika jioni around 7. Alikuwa amechelewa barani, sijui amepitia rafiki yake. So akafika nyumbani. Wakakula saa. And then wakaenda kulala. Sasa happened. Wakiwa wamelala around saa 8 usiku. Okay?
Okay.
Pigwa.
Yake ya the wife of the husband. Okay.
Ikapigwa. Usingizi wa saa 8. You know?
Deep sleep.
Yes. So simu ikapigwa. So amelala tu. Simu ikapigwa. Akaasumi ya kwanza. Tena. Kasi. Kapigwa tena. Ikapigwa tena. Unaanza unafungua jicho moja. Alafu unaanza kufanya hivi. So akapapasa hivi, ndivyo akasikia kwenye simu iko. So akachukua tu. Akasema hello. So ndivyo akasikia pigiwa kutoka hospitalini. Are we together?
Okay.
So akasema yes, what is it? Akaambiwa tunakuita kwa sababu kuna mtu ambaye ameletwa hapa na ameokolewa na watu na amechomeka sana. Hata ako very unconscious. She's a lady.
Okay.
So please, we are calling you to come and assist. Kwa sababu amechomeka vibaya. So jamaa amelala tu akasema sasa aongei, akaambiwa ongei, amechomeka vibaya sana by the way. So tunakuita because huyu kama hata shughulikiwa in the next like 30 minutes
ataenda.
Huyu tutamlose.
Okay.
Wenye wamemleta wanapeana any information about wakasema saa hii hata kuna time ya kuuliza mtu maswali. So tunakuomba tu uje haraka because
ni emergency. Yeah.
Akasema okay. Let me come. Kumbe wakati ambapo amepokea simu, the wife anasikia. Kumbe alisikia simu inaita, so akaamka.
Anashangaa nini chukui simu?
Yes, na hamwambi. So akaamka. Alipoanza kuamka the wife ndio akamuuliza, sasa wacha uone. Kabisa unaenda wapi? Akasema no, nimeitwa hospitali ya kwamba kuna mgonjwa ambaye amepelekwa huko na ako very sick. The wife akamuuliza, ndivyo ujue she was narcissistic. Kwani wewe ni Mungu?
Aya.
Are you the only person mwenye uweza mtreat? Kwani hakuna madaktari wengine huko? Ama unalipwa triple? Can't they call Dr. So and so? Unajua sasa because the wife anajua anaendaka kumuona mume wake, so anajua other doctors there. Can they call so and so? Kwani wewe tu ndio unapigia yangu simu hapa? I told you, hii character yako ya kujifanya mzuri na kujifanya how you are concerned na maisha ya watu itakutesa. Na sasa unaenda wapi? Why can't you just tell them you're far?
Excuse me?
Mwambie tu uko mbali. Na by the end of the day, modo wako kwa no wako kwa mtu akukufa atakufa tu.
Uko serious?
Do you have to, that's why nakwambia she was a narcissist. But now the husband alikuwa amemzoea.
Okay.
Unajua sasa wewe ukishaingia kwa ndoa mwenye umepata, you are just accordingly. The husband akamwambia negodhi. Kwenda nitaenda kwa sababu sasa ukiona akamuuliza, wacha nikuulize. Ndivyo wale wanipigie simu.
Nafikiria they haven't.
Kwani hawajafikiria hawa wenyewe wewe mwenyewe unafikiria? Na ndivyo waone kwamba I'm the only person mwenye anaweza msaidia. Akamwambia acha nikwambie, wewe
kelele yote ni ya midnight.
Wewe umesoma, but sometimes your reasoning is so down.
Okay.
So because the husband hataki mambo mengi na ni usiku, yeye amenyamaza tu. Akaenda kwa wardrobe. Sasa hata hakuna time ya kuoga because anataka kutoka mbio. Do you know what the wife told him? Akamwambia, am I your wife or a house girl?
Because I need to go save someone.
So then anavaa tu. Akasema, you are my wife. Akamwambia now. So you can't even listen to me?
What do you mean?
So for you, it's all about saving lives. Okay? Haya basi. Enda ukamponya Yesu. Na the wife akabadilika akachange nini? Inaitwa aje? Akaangalia na huko kwa ukuta. A narcissist.
That's too much.
And the husband was like,
that's too much.
Hata hakumjibu akasema sasa. Yeye akavaa.
Sana ni usiku.
Akatoka. Kutoka amesahau kia gari. Kozi ni kwa haraka, huyu anampigia kelele, anamwambia mambo mingi. So kufika nje akakumbuka, hata nimeacha kia gari. Akarudi kwenye huwa na alikuwa mara nyingi wakienda kulala anaenda tu na hiyo kia nayo yakelea hapo. Kurudi kia gari haiko hapo. Na akoshua
hapo ndo aliweka hapo.
So akaangalia haoni kia gari, akaangalia haoni kia gari. So na huyu venye amemuongelesha hapa anaona sasa kuanza kumuuliza kia gari iko wapi. This is another conversation that I just don't want to have. And you know, sometimes it's good. Ukishasoma mtu, sometimes maybe you know how to maneuver. But sasa akaona aje, niko kwenye hospitali Maguru na venye hospitali iko mbali. So akamtingiza. Akamtingiza. Ndizo utafanya nini? You know, juu amemuita mara ya kwanza haitiki. Ndivyo akamtingiza akamwambia, "Umeona kia gari?" Akamwambia, "Mimi sijaiona."
Ai, uko sure?
Mimi sijaiona, si gari wewe ndio unaendeshanga. Akaambia okay, right now hakuna hata time ya kuulizana mambo mengi. Then nipe key yako. Niende na your car. Yes, and then nitakuja kuitafuta asubuhi. Because ukiona na saa hiyo simu bado inapigwa. The wife akamwambia enda ukaiangalie na huko, nimewekelea na huko kwa meza huko sitting room. So the husband akatoka. Akaenda sitting room. Akaangalia kwa ile meza ameambiwa, "Ni yako shiona." Akarudi akamwambia aki na siku ubaya,
tuache tukusumbuana surely.
Zangu naweza kuwa basi niliweka venye aki ni zako za akamwambia usini tafuta fungu na msena yeye alikuwa mbali baada akamwambia kwenye niko unataka nikuje hospitalini? Akasema hapana, niko nyumbani. How long is it going to take you? Akamwambia what? Sasa niko na client. Unless unipe dakika kama 30. Akamwambia okay, kuna mtu mwingine unaweza mjua anafanyanga kazi, umwambie anikujie. Akamwambia let me see. Ule msee wa taxi kupiga, huyo mwenye anafaa kukuja na yeye pia anasema sijui yako na nini, sijui gari imefanya nini, you know. Akamwambia now you'll have to wait for me. Akasema okay, wewe jaribu kimbia haraka, niko na emergency wapi? Hospitalini. Ufike unichukue ndivyo. In the meantime wacha atafute keys. Akamwambia nikiweza kufigure out something naweza kucall nikwambia either usikuje. So yeah, wacha atafute ufunguo. Atazipata? Hakupata. Do you know he decided? Now if amelala atashughuliki. Do you know he decided? Atoke atembeage mguu kwenye atapatana maybe na nini na nini, because simu zinapigwa sana, naambiwa we are losing this patient.
Now if amelala tu hapo.
Amelala na alisema sisumbuliwe. Unasikia mpaka alimuita Yesu enda ukamponye.
Okay.
So akaamua atoke, atembee tu miguu. Kwenye atapata, kama atapata pikipiki ama kenye atapata ama nini ni sawa.
Aende naye.
So akiwa anatembea kwa giza, anatembea anaharakisha. Ndivyo akaona ile simu ya ule msee. Yes. Kaambia ndio akamwambia sasa hata usikuje home. Unaona hii barabara yenye sijui imepita nini, kuja tukutane, natembea kwa miguu. Mpaka mtu ataxia akaniuliza what? Hiyo barabara saa hii unatembea hii masaa? Akamwambia wewe kuja tukutane, acha maswali mingi. So akakutana, akaingia. So jamaa wa taxi anamuuliza kwani gari yako iliharibika? Akamwambia wewe twende hospitali. Wewe twende. Haya yape. You know, wakafika. Akatoka, akamwambia nitakutumia pesa. Akatoka. Na saa mtu wa taxi alimwangalia na akajua huyu enyewe something is going on. Akatoka akakimbia. Kakimbia akaenda kama ametoa ile nguo alikuwa amevaa. Basi sasa ni athiri. So amekuja amefanya nini akakimbia kwa corridors, you know, cause hataki kabisa, ana imagine ile time alipigiwa, you know, na ile time amefika anaona sitaki hiyo ya kwamba hii kifo inaweza kuwa associated na mimi. Akaenda kama ameingia. So akapata wale ndivyo juu alikuwa ashawaambia waanze kumtayarisha nini. Ameuliza maswali akajua ni nini inahitajika, so akawaambia waanze kumtayarisha. Yes. So akaenda kama ameingia, amevaa mavitu nini, akafika. Guy. Si ameingia hivi kuangalia. Anaona huyu akaanza kuitisha mavitu nini. Ai. Do you know kuangalia vizuri? Akaona huyu ni mother-in-law.
What? Mama ya wife?
Yes.
Hey.
Now, he thought he was dreaming. Unajua kuna kitu
Utajembea,
one is
I
either
think.
you are dead,
or
you're in the process of dying, or you are doing your own things, ama you are in your own world.
You're just hallucinating.
Aka recognize, akaona huyu ni mother-in-law. Mama,
ule mwenye amelala, mwenye amemfichia key.
Do you know what happened? Immediately ali recognize ya kwamba huyu ni mother-in-law. Ameletwa na wapita njia ambao waliona nyumba ikiteketea. So hata hakukuwa na time ya kujua ni nani kutoka wapi. Na mother-in-law alikuwa anaishi peke yake because alikuwa single mother. Na sana vile alikuwa amelea huyu, akafikisha mpaka umri, akamsomesha, akaolewa. Okay? So ni watu walienda wakamchukua, wakamleta. So even doctors there na nurses hawajui yeye kuna vile.
Wako related.
So akagundua na akaona this is my mother-in-law, but akanyamaza.
Oh, okay.
But hasira ilipanda from 0
boiling
to
point
1,000. Okay? Akasema right now feelings, emotions inje. Let me first of all ngangana with this case. Akangengana sasa hiyo amewekwa mavitu manini. Akangengana. Akiwa katika harakati za kungengana, akasikia
gone.
Unajua wakati mtu ako hai yako kama zinga akiwa in the process alisikia tu akarudi nyuma. Akasema guys, we got to do something. Wacha tujaribu kuna nyingine wanaitanga sijui aje. Yes.
Inaitanga
resuscitate. Yes.
Resuscitate.
Wanafanya tu. Kama shini kadhire flat piu. Tu wapi. Haambi hawa ni nani huyu? Haongei. So wakasimama, kuna mwenye anaongea na mwingine. Akaambia wale wase nurses wale wenye wanakuwa akamwambia guys, I apologize for coming late. Probably something could have been done, but I really apologize. Na asemi ni nani huyo? Now, the nurses wanamwangalia na macho ya kumadha ile tukuulire thimuri. Tangu wakati ambapo tulikupigia simu.
Ulikuwa wapi?
Sasa ndio umefika because wewe ndio Mr. Healer. Si wewe ndio specialist in this whole hospital. So ulikuja wakati hawamwambii but macho inaongea ile design. Yes. Because you are a specialist, umeteki kesi benye unataka. Yet the nurses were sure. Ya kwamba kama angefika right on time, wangemsave. So wanamwangalia tu ile but macho inasema otherwise. Do you know what he did? Kageuka. Kaangalia ile wall clock akasema time of death 4 AM. Katoa hizo magloves. Aliziangushanisha hapo. Kuziishua. Kitu ikamwambia wacha nitoke. Nipitie kwa mother-in-law.
Just to be sure.
Nione kama
ako huko.
Kuna kaaji. Akatoka. Hata kuitisha taxi ya mtu. He started walking. So nurses wakaona. Akasema this is very unlikely of him.
Yeah.
So anaitwa, akasema yesh, tutaonana. Akatoka nje ya hospitali. Ma akaanza kutembea kwa barabara. Hata hataki kujua kama kuna wakora, kama kuna nini, kama so there is confusion, there is anger, there is mourning, there is shock,
everything.
There is stress, there is regret, there is all those things, all the feelings ambazo unaweza kuwa nazo kwa kichwa when such a thing has happened. Ziko zimemkalia hivi kama kiota cha ndege. So anatembea tu kwa lami. Anaenda tu hata ajali. Anakutana na watu huko hata hataki kujua kama ni wakora. Akatembea for 1 hour.
Mpaka 5.
Ndivyo akafika kwa mother-in-law. Akiwa mbali, ndivyo akaona moshi ukitoka kwa hiyo nyumba. So ndivyo akasimama hata hakukaribia. Ndivyo akasema kumbe si kuona vitu zangu. So kumbe I'm not dreaming. Kumbe this is the reality. Okay. Hata hakuenda hapo. Sasa akiwa amesimama hapo ndivyo akapiga simu. Akapigia yule msee wa taxi. Uko wapi? Niko sijui nini. Nikujie. Kwa hospitali hapana. Kuja sijui nini. Huyo msee wa taxi sakaenda akamchukua. Jamaa ataongei. Kaambia take me home. Amenyamaza tu, take me home. So sasa hiyo si inaelekea 6. Kaenda akamdrop. Hata akumbuka kumlipa. Alishuka tu akamwambia kutumia. So mse wa taxi could already see
Something is wrong. Something is wrong.
Who si yule daktari mimi najua.
Yeah.
So something is wrong. Something is not adding up. So acha mimi
niende tu.
Kaenda kaingia nyumbani. Kafungua. Kaingia ndani ya nyumba, kaenda kakaa kwa sitting room. So hivi bado amelala huko. Kakaa chini. After alianza kuprocess all that, that's when now he broke down.
Yeah.
You know? And now he started crying. Na alianza kulia polepole. But the more alianza kufikiria what has just happened, akapata kwamba sauti imeanza kutoka, so akafika mahali akaanza kulia kama mtoto. So the wife akasikia. Na akiwa bedroom akasikia kwamba that is my husband who is crying. Analia nini? So the wife ndivyo akaamka, akavaa hizo mavitu za ukivaa so akakuja. Akapata the husband amelala chini flat. Amelala hivi. Amelia. So ndivyo akasimama akamuuliza, babe, is everything okay?
PR.
Nini kwani? Kwani nini? Ebu amka. Alipoamka hivi alimwambia, you are a murderer. You are a murderer. You are a killer. And right now, I'm taking everything that belongs to me and I'm getting out of this house. Enough
is enough.
Is enough. You are a killer. So the wife did not really understand.
Confused.
How am I a killer? So namuliza, who have I killed? Unanita murderer. Like, nimeua nani? Nimeua nani? Now, narcissists, they ignite a problem and then they become victims.
The victims.
Akamwambia, you will know.
You'll definitely know.
You will know.
Yeah.
Because alijua mimi hii breaking news.
It's not me to do.
Haitakuja kutoka kwangu. But si anaona machozi ya. Utajua. Akaingia kwa bedroom. So ujuu ni mtu mwenye hayuko in the right state of mind. Akaingia kwa bedroom, akaanza kuchukua vitu. Akimwambia, najua wewe ndio ulikuwa umeficha ufunguo. Niambie kwenye keys ziko. Do you know?
Wife akampea. Mtema hata sijui nenda wapi.
Do you know? Alimtolea ufunguo. Na anamtolea akimwambia I didn't know it was going to be serious.
What do you mean you didn't know it was going to be serious na nilipigiwa at midnight?
Akamwambia I don't want to talk to you. Sitaki mambo mingi. But just know you are a murderer. Haja. Huyo akifikiria ni mchezo, jamaa akatoka. Akapiga gari ufunguo. Yes. Akajifungulia gate, akatoka kwanza aliacha wazi na kaenda. So the wife amebaki hapa anajaribu kujiuliza what's all this?
Yeah.
So ndivyo akaamua apige simu wapi? Hospitali, because alikuwa anajua one of the nurses. So ndivyo akapiga. Hello. Ni aje? Poa. Wewe ulikuwa night shift ama ndivyo unaingia? Akamwambia pana, mimi ndio naingia. Akamwambia hebu ukifika huko, hebu jaribu kuchunguza what happened usiku. Because there's something about my husband yenye sielewi. Hebu enda tu nichunguzie kuzimi sielewi ni nini.
Yeah.
Kwani unafikiri mpaka hata yule alifika hospitali? So ndivyo akaanza kupigiwa simu. Kaanza kuona an calls now the wife. Kaanza kuona man call. Akaanza kuona sijui nani. So anashindwa watu wote wanataka nini? Akaanza ndivyo akachukua moja. Akauliza sasa, poa, where is your husband? Akasema hayuko. Okay. Wewe uko wapi? Niko kwa nyumba. Ni nini kwani?
Yeah, mbona mnapiga nyinyi wote?
Akamwambia, okay, fanya aje? Hebu kuja kwa hospitali tu saa hii. Huko kwenye your husband works, saa hii tu. She's like, kwani ni nini? What's going on? Akamwambia wewe kuja. Rasmi kakatwa. Now, ukisha receive such information, unajuanga whatever you are doing is no longer important. Now you have to
go immediately.
Akatoka. Kaingia kwa gari lake akapiga, akafika hospitali. Kufika hospitalini ndivyo anapata watu wao. So ndivyo akauliza, ni nini? Ndivyo sasa pole pole ndivyo akaambiwa sasa what happened. Now your mom aliletwa, alikuwa na amechomeka, and wakati nini she rested. Akauliza she rested, like rested as in what do you mean? She rested as in
rested,
like she went to be with the Lord. Ndivyo akasema siwezi amini what you're saying until I see her body. Akapelekwa. Sasa ni preparation sasa zinafanywa ndivyo apelekwa mochari. Akapelekwa, kaingizwa kwa hiyo room kwenye alikuwa amewekwa kando hapo. Ndivyo akiwa pale because kuna nurses wako hapo. Ndivyo akauliza who was attending to her? Kaambiwa
it's your husband.
Your husband. Akauliza, is this the case yenye alipigiwa simu usiku? Akaambiwa yes. She collapsed. And that's the end of Tegasikio.
Wow.
Now, did the husband ever come back? Niulize, because I don't know. Okay? Was it fair for the husband to call the wife a murderer? Sijui. Did the conduct of the wife
ever change?
Wakati the husband was called, was it right? Was she justified to act the way she acted, even hiding the car keys? Don't ask me. Because both here, we are waiting to see what will tell us kwa comment section and what you have learned.
Yeah. So tell us what you have learned. And
what have you learned yourself?
A lot of lessons.
Okay.
A lot of lessons.
Tuziachie hapo kwanza.
Yo. So wacha tupate your feedback kwanza. Tell us what you've learned from this particular Tegasikio. And then we'll be coming right back. We also have an interview tunataka you guys muone, because it's an eye opener.
Yeah.
So this one you don't want to miss it. But what you're going to do right now, tutakuwa tunapata fahamisha, and then we'll be also getting into some of the vipindi ambazo tuna air hapa ndani ya MBCI television. Kwa hivyo siende mbali, text us on 0721-105-105, 23814, and also of course we're live on Facebook and we are live on YouTube. Kwa hivyo text us, and then we'll be coming right back. After that tutakuwa tunapata the interview, so don't miss that.
So swali ni tunakwenda alafu turudi ama tunakwenda interview inakuja? Tunaenda
alafu tupate interview. Tutakuwa tunarudi kusoma feedbacks after interview.
After the interview?
Yes.
So we ain't coming back here?
Yes.
So it's good the viewer knows ya kwamba after tumekuonesha some of the programs that we air here,
we'll
so tutakuwa tunaingia direct kwa the interview that we had yesterday, tukasema tukulete leo. It's going to be an eye opener. Sorry, leo hatuna class time, but the class that we are having today is a master class. Make sure you don't miss. Kama uko na issue na diabetes, hypertension, and something that we call cardiovascular
diseases.
There you go.
Okay. Katika makala ya Fahamishwa, leo na wafahamisha kuhusu Dubai Miracle Garden. Dubai Miracle Garden is a popular tourist attraction located in the city of Dubai, Dubailand district. It is the world's greatest natural flower garden, covering an area of over 72,000 square meters. Bustani hiyo ina maua zaidi ya milioni 45. Na bustani hiyo ilifunguliwa mwaka wa 2013, na tangu wakati huo imekuwa a popular tourist destination kwa watalii na wenyeji. One of the main attractions of the Dubai Miracle Garden is the Flower Dome, which is a large greenhouse that houses a variety of flowers and plants. The dome is designed to look like a giant flower and is home to over 50 different types of flowers. Another popular attraction in the garden is the heart-shaped flower bed, which is made up of over 45,000 flowers. Hii ni sehemu maarufu ya wageni kupigia picha, na mara nyingi hutumiwa kama mandhari ya picha za harusi na engagements. The Dubai Miracle Garden also features a number of themed gardens, including the Butterfly Garden, ambayo ni nyumbani kwa zaidi ya vipepeo 15,000. And the Aromatic Garden, ambayo imejaa maua yenye harufu nzuri na mimea. Bustani hiyo hufunguliwa kuanzia Oktoba hadi Aprili kila mwaka, kwani joto kali la majira ya summer ya Dubai hufanya iwe vigumu kutunza maua. Lakini katika the peak season, bustani inaweza kuvutia hadi wageni milioni 1.5 kila mwaka. Overall, the Dubai Miracle Garden is a beautiful and unique attraction that offers visitors a chance to experience the beauty of nature in the heart of the city. Haya ni makala ya Fahamishwa. Jina langu ni Rachel Kahugu.
Hi there, my name is Perpetual Nyambura and I love cooking. We all love art and we all love good food.
Yeah, ukiwa na passion ya upishi,
yes.
Hii inasaidia sana. Kwa sababu kuna watu hupika just for the sake.
Mulo Wetu introduces you to creativity in meal preparation. Don't miss a fresh episode of Mulo Wetu.
Kila Alhamisi 7:30 to 8 p.m.
Marudio yake iko hapa, that is Friday from 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. only on MBCI TV.
Usimiss kwenda mbinguni. Madhiti na makeki. This is serious.
Doctrines continue to differ.
So let everybody examine their doctrine.
Debates are on the rise.
Sodom, this was the same thing that is happening today.
And the information is plenty.
People go to the wrong sources, expecting to get the right answers.
Amidst all these, what is the truth?
This judgment is not based on sin.
The Bible is clear, and there is an answer for every query. Ask the Ministers of God show every Saturday, 8:30 p.m.
Are you ready to unlock the secrets behind successful career choices? Join us for an eye-opening journey as we delve deep into the minds of professionals from various career fields.
So what is your take on employment?
I think that employment has been misdefined.
Don't miss the insights and the knowledge that will equip you for your success. Meet the HR every Friday from 8:30 p.m. with Sylvia Wanja. And remember, there is no luck in career, but it's an opportunity meets preparation. Hey! Get ready for non-stop adventures and lots of fun! Each episode is packed with engaging stories, vibrant animations, catchy songs, educational session, and unforgettable moments.
She sells seashells at the seashore. Hey!
We inspire and empower young minds as we develop important life skills while having a blast. Join us every Saturday on your favorite channel from 9:30 a.m. as we have an amazing time. Don't miss out!
There you go. Madukani tumetoka, hata si madukani, tumetoka kukuonesha baadhi ya vipindi ambavyo tunavipeperusha hapa mpenzi mtazamaji. Medical College, and they are here. Na anytime umesikia Outspan Medical College imetajwa hapa, just know ya kwamba it has something to do with you. Kwa sababu hata wakati ambapo tunakueleza mambo mengi, ni vizuri pia kuhakikisha kwamba afya yako tumeweza kuipa kipaumbele. Now Outspan si wageni sana, manake tumekuwa na wao hapa. Well, tunaweza tukakuwa labda yule ambaye tulikuwa naye si ambaye tuko naye awamu hii, but the fact remains ni kwamba Outspan Medical College kila wakati ambapo tumeitaja, then you know what we are talking about. Now, wageni ambao tuko na wao hapa mpenzi mtazamaji, kama kuna swali lolote ambalo utakuwa nalo, najua kwamba watakuwa katika nafasi ya kukujibu kwa njia iliyo safi kabisa, ndivyo na wewe ujihisi ya kwamba umeweza kuwakilishwa. Manake tunakutakia pia na wewe ukawa na afya njema, na kwa kufanya hivyo tunahakikisha kwamba tunakuletea watu ambao wanakueleza what you're supposed to do and what you are not supposed to do to make sure that you are very very okay. Now tuko na Dr. Mwangi Muturi na pia tuko na nutritionist Augustine Simiyu, and these two are here because we want to talk about diabetes, ni ugonjwa wa kisukari, and then we have hypertension, msongo wa damu mwilini, and then we have magonjwa ya moyo. Okay, heart diseases. So hayo ndio mambo ambayo tunataka kuiangazia hapa, those three conditions, na watakuwa na tuweza kutusaidia kuelewa mengi zaidi kuhusiana na diabetes, kuhusiana na hypertension, na pia kuhusiana na heart diseases. Ndivyo pia uweze kujua kama umejipata katika hali ambayo labda unaugua one of those conditions, how you even able to manage it. That is why we are having a nutritionist with us, and also now the doctor will also be taking us through kutuambia how it happens and all that, na the symptoms na mambo mengine yote hayo, and I believe ya kwamba kila kitu kitakuwa ni shwari kabisa. Now Rachel will be telling you kama kuna swali ambalo uko nalo, we have our numbers ambazo unafaa kupitia and all our social media platforms as follows.
So kama uko na any questions ambazo nataka kuuliza concerning the diseases that we are talking about today, specifically hizo, so utakuwa unatuuliza katika nambari zetu 0721105105 on WhatsApp, and we said that the SMS code is now very very okay, and it's free of charge. Kwa hivyo kama uko na any question and you don't have credit, that's the way to go. So tuulize katika 23814. We also live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, on MBCI TV Facebook page and MBCI TV official YouTube page. So we'll be getting into the discussion of the day, and I've come to learn that easy diseases ambazo tunaongelea leo, they are intertwined in one way or another. So it's very important for all of us kujua. Probably you're feeling something and you're wondering what's happening with you, na nimesikia kuna zingine zenye you might not even feel anything. So this is where we learn a lot, quite a lot. So make sure you don't watch alone. So call your friends, call your neighbors, call your family, so that you'll be able to get educated tukiwa pamoja.
Yeah.
Sana. We're very happy that you're here. Sapa imekuwa nyumbani. Outspan kukwaje?
Kuko salama. Mpokee salamu za Outspan Medical College.
Tumezipokea.
Na Outspan Hospital.
Tumepokea.
Tulikuwa tumesahau kutaja hapo ya kwamba Outspan Medical College pia kuna Outspan Hospital. It's very good to also clarify on that. And thank you so much gentlemen for being with us here today. Na najua kwamba mtazamaji wetu ataweza kusaidika sana kila wakati ambapo tumekuwa. By the way, how is Mugongo?
He's very fine.
Mwenye atamwona msanii.
Ninyi mpaka umekumbuka jina makofi.
Arejea sasa tumekuwa naye hapa mara nyingi. So that is why nikamuulizia. Asalimiwe sana, naambiwe mwaka bado ni mpya. Asalimia nange. But we thank the Lord that you two are here. Tukiongea kuhusiana na diabetes, hypertension and other heart diseases. And maybe mtazamaji anaweza kuwa anajiuliza nikianza kwako daktari. Why are we combining diabetes, hypertension and other heart diseases? Kwani kuna vile ambavyo zinahusiana?
Okay, so nataka kuanza na the definition. So hypertension is ikiwa tunaita high blood pressure. So hypertension is just a medical term for high blood pressure. And you see, blood pressure is a combination of two words. So you have blood and pressure. And we all know pressure is, the force per unit area when you walifanya physics. So basically,
you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, I do.
So basically, blood pressure is the force per unit area that the blood creates in your blood vessels ikitembea kwa mwili. Okay. So damu inatokanga kwa moyo, inasukuma ndani ya blood vessels, ile mishipa kwa damu, na ile pressure inatengeneza kwa hizo mishipa ndio tunaita blood pressure. So then now comes hiki tunaita high blood pressure. What is it? So high blood pressure ni wakati this blood pressure is consistently high. Okay? Consistently high meaning umepima mara mingi na hii pressure imekuwa zaidi ya ile vitu tuna ile vipimo yenye tunashtukia. And for this purpose tunapima in what we call millimeters of mercury. Your pressure is in millimeters of mercury. So in Kenya we use a cutoff of 140/90 to say that you have high blood pressure according to the Kenyan guidelines. And on the other hand, diabetes is basically a group of diseases where your body has a problem with metabolizing carbohydrates. So carbohydrates ni chakula kama ugali, chapati, starches. So all these diseases Kenya zinatambulika na shida ya kuwa na sukari mingi. Ukipima sukari kwa damu unapata ikiwa juu. So high blood sugar, what we call hyperglycemia. Now, so there are many types of diabetes, lakini for adults, so watu wenye above 18, the two most common tunaita type 1 na type 2 diabetes. And the reason watu tunashughulikia hizi ugonjwa sana sababu hizi ugonjwa mbili ndio the most common causes of what we call cardiovascular diseases. So cardiovascular diseases inamaanisha ugonjwa zenye zinahusiana na mishipa ya damu. So cardiovascular diseases affect the heart. So you have heart disease, also stroke. Ile kama unasikia kuhusu stroke is also a cardiovascular disease. Shida za figo pia those are cardiovascular disease. And you have also what we call peripheral vascular disease. Ile shida ya mishipa inaenda kwa miguu na mikono and so on. All those are called cardiovascular diseases. And these two diseases, hypertension and blood and diabetes, they actually the most common causes of the most common preventable causes of cardiovascular disease. Okay. So when you talk about cardiovascular disease, there are those things that are non-modifiable. For example, having a family history. Kuna wale ambao unasikia kila mtu kwa familia amekufa na heart attack ama amepata stroke. That one you cannot change because you cannot change your genetics. The other thing is being old. As you age, you're more likely to get cardiovascular diseases. Other things like male gender is associated with a higher rate of cardiovascular disease. So those things we can't change. Okay. But the other things we can change, like hypertension, we can treat it. Diabetes, we can treat it. Being overweight, we can change that. Your diet, and that's where you have my colleague here. Because actually it occurs that diet is one of the most common causes of these two things. And it's a very big factor to for both the development of these diseases and its treatment.
All right.
Yes.
Wacha nishikanisha kitu before you come in.
Yes.
Na nataka kurudi hapo kwa diabetes. Ya kwamba ni wakati ambapo mwili umeshindwa kufanya nini carbohydrates?
Yeah, so mwili umeshindwa so metabolism ni unajua ukikula chakula unaitafuna inaenda kwa unaimeza inaenda kwa tumbo sasa tumbo hapo inaanza kusiagwa what we call digestion. So ikisiagwa kwa mfano kama umekula ugali haitaingia kwa damu ikiwa ugali inasiagwa inakuwa starches na kidogo ina those enzymes kwa tumbo na intestines so eventually inakuwa glucose. So glucose ikiingia kwa damu so hiyo ugali inaingia kwa damu ikiwa glucose sukari. And that is one important factor sababu watu wanafikiria sukari ni sukari ile unaweka kwa chai. Lakini basically kila kitu which is a carbohydrate mwili inajua ni sukari. Okay? Chapati, ugali, fanta, nini all those so those things ni sukari. Na I guess we tell you kuna watu wanasema mimi sikudangi sukari lakini akiamka asubuhi anakula kibuyu kizima kia uji. Hiyo kwa mwili ni sukari. So the reason
hata uji yenye haina sukari
bado hiyo ni sukari. Sababu ni starch is a carbohydrate imetengenezwa na unga.
Nikatoelewa.
So
how do you take 4 chapatis in the morning? Like honestly.
Don't let me ask. So kama mtu anakunywa chai yenye haina sukari but anakunywa chai haina sukari na chapati kama a good number. It means bado mwili yake ina absorb a lot of sugar.
Yes.
Because
daktari just wait. I'm trying to get it. So that means mwili yake bado inachukua a lot of sugar.
Yes.
Because so anatakana kufanya nini?
So what happens?
Yes.
Kitu natakana kuelewa ukipewa chai iko na maziwa. Na maziwa inakuanga na sukari inaitwa lactose. Unashika. So unaona at the end ikidigestiwa the end product itakuwa glucose. Na glucose ndio sukari. Umekula chapati 3. Chapati 3 ni carbohydrate. Ikisiagwa mwisho yake itakuwa nini? Sukari. Unashika. So utapata wakati umekunywa chai na chapati 3 sukari itaenda wapi? Itaenda juu.
Do we have good sugar and bad sugar? Does the body kwanza hapo kwa asali does the body distinguish kwamba hii ni sukari ya asali, hii ni sukari ya chapo, hii ni sukari ya biscuit, hii ni sukari ya cabbage? Does the body distinguish? I mean inajua sugar is sugar.
So number one, the first thing, sugar is sugar. But number two, there are two different ways the body the reason we call them bad sugar and good sugar ni ile how that sugar is released into your body. Okay, so there are things we call complex sugars. So I use an analogy. Okay, wakati unawasha moto wataka kuota moto. Okay, either unaweza washa moto na karatasi gazeti. So moto ya gazeti inawaka big flame very fast lakini inaisha haraka. But ukiwasha moto na kuni inachukua muda
lakini
itakaa sana. Okay, lakini karatasi inatoka wapi? Kwa hiyo wood, sio kwa hiyo mti. So that is the difference between a complex carbohydrate and a simple carbohydrate. So when you take a complex carbohydrate, for example maize, ukikula ikiwa the maize, it's a complex carbohydrate. It will take a lot of time for the body to digest it. So your sukari inakuwa released pole gradually into your blood. But ukisiaga, you make it process it, unaifanya ikuwe nini very fine and what, ikiingia kwa mwili inapandisha sukari very fast. That's the difference.
Okay? But pia inashuka haraka.
So pia inapanda haraka, inashuka haraka. Why that is a problem? Because once the glucose enters your blood, normally it is sensed by an organ. Kuna kitu kwa mwili inaitwa pancreas. Pancreas iko tu ndani ya tumbo hapo imeshikana na intestines ama mara pale. So when the glucose enters your blood, it is sensed by the pancreas. Pancreas inatoa kitu inaitwa insulin. So insulin ndio inaambianga mwili kuna sukari you need to take it out of the blood. Either number one, to produce energy, because glucose is used to provide energy to the body. Na yenye imebaki tengeneza storage. So glycogen and what is left becomes fat. So that's the one. The first lesson is that you get fat primarily from sugar. Not only fat can make you fat. Okay. So diabetes is a problem of insulin. Okay.
Yes.
So that's why I said diabetes is a problem of the metabolism of carbohydrates. So in a normal person, hiyo sukari kiingia kwa damu, the pancreas detects that, produces insulin, hiyo mwili inachukua hiyo glucose. So there are either two problems that can arise. Either you're not producing enough insulin. Okay. So if you don't produce enough insulin, the body is not able to take that glucose from your blood. So ukipima sukari itakuwa juu. That is what we call type 1 diabetes. Okay. Your body is unable to produce enough insulin. Then there's the other spectrum where you have insulin in your body, but your body does not respond to it. We call that insulin resistance. So you have insulin in your body, but the body is not responding to that insulin. Okay. So you have a relative insulin deficiency. Uko unanishika, uko na insulin lakini haitoshi, mwili imekataa nayo. Ni kama unajaribu iko ni kama wewe unajaribu kusukuma mawe lakini huna nguvu ya kutosha kusukuma hiyo mawe. Nguvu uko nayo lakini haitoshi. So the body is resistant to this insulin. So the end product is the same. That you will get high sugar in the body. Now this insulin resistance, the problem of insulin resistance is what we call type 2 diabetes. And type 2 diabetes happens to be the most common type of diabetes, more than 90%. And what causes this insulin resistance? Number one is being overweight. Okay. Number two is diet, so ukikula chakula yenye inashinda ikipandisha, so that kushinda ukipandisha sukari very fast, that constant exposure to glucose eventually inachosha the pancreas, so you can develop diabetes. Okay. Other things that cause.
On from there.
Yes.
Hiyo kupandisha glucose in layman's language.
Yes.
Do you mean mtu mwenye anakula sukari sana?
Yes.
Like normal sugar, juice, ice cream, such things.
Yes.
Ukikula sana, so your sugar keeps going up and down. Hiyo ndio ina cause your resistance.
So number one, the most common cause of resistance is obesity. Okay? And as I said, I alluded to before, obesity chiefly occurs from excess carbohydrates. Because ile sukari yote yenye umekula haijatumika kwa mwili inakuwa to fat. And the thing that has been shown to be the most common cause of insulin resistance is just having excess weight, especially having excess fat around the abdomen. Okay. So that's the main problem. Sababu you're overeating, you are getting obese, so you get insulin resistance. On the other end, that constant exposure to those high sugar pia leads to eventual failure of your pancreas because inashinda itachoka. So now you have two problems. You have insulin resistance on this end, and you have reduced, also being overpowered and failing. So that also worsens diabetes.
All right. Now, coming now to you, because now I think prevention is better than cure. When it comes to how we choose what to eat, of course, there's no way tunaweza assume ama tunaweza kosa kula carbohydrates, But my question is then, how are we able to know, or how are we able to balance na to make sure kwamba carbohydrates eventually haitaleta too much glucose into our bodies and eventually probably lead to insulin resistance, and such issues. What do we do? Na ugali ndio hawanini na venye wengine kwanza wako hapa. How do we balance that?
Okay, basically when we talk about the diabetes, we are not telling people to stop taking carbohydrates. So we encourage them to select the best group of carbohydrates, complex carbohydrates. So complex carbohydrates, simple terms, inamaanisha ile chakula ya carbohydrate yenye haijakuwa processed. So for example, if you are going to eat ugali, you take the maize and mill the flour, not going for that packed maize. Packed flour, flour. Then if you are eating like bread, let it be brown bread. because that fiber is what makes, as Dr. has said earlier, that fiber is what makes the sugar does not get quickly into the body, because fiber normally reduces digestion and also absorption of sugar inakuwa reduced in the system. So we encourage people to take complex carbohydrates. So don't go for processed. If you're eating chapati, let it be brown chapati.
Ile ya kusiaga
ngano. Yes. Usiende ile. Sasa unajua kienda kusiaga, when they are processing, they are removing the fiber. So inakuwa fine. So they are like already digesting it for you. So ikiingia kwa system, unaona inaingia so quick.
Sasa kama karatasi.
Yes. Sasa inakuwa karatasi. Inakuwa moto ya karatasi.
From wood. So that's why to encourage people, they should take foods that are not processed. Then number 2, the quantity they are going to take. Okay? Because in African settings, sometimes we tend to think you are supposed to eat more, 6 chapatis, then with a little cabbage, isn't it?
Yeah. Watu nasikianga chapati tano.
Even when you look at, for example, if people are serving food, maybe they are putting there like rice, they are putting chapati, they are putting ugali, but vegetables they just put one. So that's where the problem comes. You see, we are supposed to be taking, like, for example, if you are diabetic, carbohydrate is supposed to be the smallest amount on your plate. Sometimes we encourage people to use even cups or serving spoons. If you are taking like 2, use 1 serving spoon of rice. If you are eating chapati, take 1. Let vegetables be more. But you see, sometimes we do the opposite. More chapati, little cabbage.
How does someone kill that kitama kenye ukienda hivi shingo inaenda tu kwa basin, like, and you feel you can't sleep with the same, you know? Kuna venye mwili inaweza detach from that craving.
You see what happens? What controls what you eat is your mind. It's mindset. There are some people who believe that I must eat 3 chapatis because that you need anishibisha, which is not true. You can take more vegetables and you're okay. You can take more beans, okay? You can take more dengus and you're satisfied. So satisfaction does not come from the carbohydrate. You can satisfy yourself from other food groups. That's why you have 3 food groups. The carbohydrates, proteins, and vitamins. So for diabetic people, for people who have overweight, if you want to reduce that, make sure you reduce the carbohydrates you are taking. So when you are serving yourself, make sure on the plate, the carbohydrate inakuwa kidogo. Don't put a lot of chapati. Don't put a lot of rice. Put a lot of vegetables.
Let me ask, because you've mentioned about the brown chapati that has fiber. For a diabetic person, if they've decided they want to take brown everything, brown chapati, brown rice, so can they now add the portions?
No.
I think you are brown.
You see, remember, at the end of the digestion, they are going to get the sugar. You see, when you are diabetic, the problem in Akwanga, you are trying to control the amount of sugar that is entering your body. So if you eat a lot of, for example, it doesn't mean that when you are eating brown chapati, you can eat 4. You are not doing justice to your body, because when digested, they'll end up having a lot of sugar. So you just need like that 1 chapati is enough with a lot of vegetables. That one will be okay.
Is it possible for someone to be diabetic na kuwa na hypertension at the same time?
Actually, most of the times that's what happens, because these 2 conditions, number 1, are what we call lifestyle diseases. Okay, so it occurs that the same risk factors for hypertension are the same risk factors for diabetes, and that's why even if you come to clinic and we diagnose with hypertension, we'll always look for diabetes, high cholesterol, because they coexist. Because the same risk factors you have for hypertension are the same things that cause diabetes. Okay, so things like being overweight, being sedentary, you don't exercise much, older age. As remember I talked about modifiable and non-modifiable. So actually the same food. So for hypertension, it has to do a lot with, especially what has been shown to cause hypertension specifically is salt. Okay, so salt, chumvi. Yes, and we talk about salt, we talking about sodium, not only chumvi ya kuweka.
Okay.
And it happens that sodium is available in a lot of foods, not only in salt, especially in processed foods. Okay. So salt is a very good, sodium not specifically, is a very good preservative. So everything that is processed, anything that you can keep in a supermarket in for 5 days or so, has
sodium has to be there.
Sodium has to be there because it's a very good preservative. So you're talking about things like sausages, bread, all those things, biscuits, all those things you find in supermarkets have a lot of sodium. And that's the other reason why we actually prefer people to take organic foods rather than things that have been preserved. Okay, so if you're going to eat meat, I would rather you take the meat the imechinjwa rather than eat the sausage or the smoky or something. If you have access to the meat, because the smoky has a lot of salt, so that will also lead to these things of hypertension. And the reason as I said, was going there, the reason we care about these two diseases, especially hypertension and diabetes, is because they lead to something we call atherosclerosis. And atherosclerosis is basically hardening of the blood vessels. Okay? When I see someone with high blood pressure, what it's telling me is that blood is having trouble going through your blood vessels. Because it has to go through your blood vessels under very high pressure. Okay? And that tells me about the health of your blood vessels. For example, if you have healthy blood vessels and the heart beats, the blood vessel should, accept your damu very, very nicely. But if the blood vessel is very, very tight, okay, it's hard. So the blood struggles to get through those blood vessels. So number one, since the heart is having trouble getting blood through the blood vessels, the heart becomes big. Inafura, ni kama tuko na gym, ni kama iko gym. It's always so the heart becomes, that's why some people moyo wako ni kubwa. So it so happens the heart supplies itself with blood. Before blood supplies blood to the body, lazima ijipatie, ijishibishe na damu kwanza. So of course the heart becomes bigger, it is less likely to be able to supply its own self with blood. So the heart being a big thing is not a good thing. Okay, so and that's what eventually, if the heart is not able to supply itself, eventually it will fail. So, the heart fails, you get heart failure. So that's how hypertension causes heart failure. Number two, the other thing that causes this stiffening of the blood vessels is, number one, diabetes has been shown to be a very, very good, very potent cause of that stiffening, and also having high cholesterol in blood. So cholesterol is this molecule that is very troublesome. Ikitembea kwa damu inapenda kuingia kujiplaster into the blood vessels, and it can cause that stiffness. Okay. So if these vessels become stiff, and those collection of those cholesterol and those things, at one point that narrowing becomes too much, now that blood vessel will close. Okay. So if that blood vessel closes in the blood vessels of the heart, that is basically what we call a heart attack. Okay. Because the heart cannot take blood to itself, so the heart fails suddenly, which we call a heart attack. If that blood vessel closes in your blood vessels of the brain, that is what we call stroke. If it closes in the blood vessels to your foot, you get what you call gangrene, and you can get an amputation for that. And that is essentially why we manage these diseases. And the problem we have with these two, they're very notorious for being what you call asymptomatic. Hujuangi uko nazo. So you can live several years not knowing that you have this thing until it causes a problem. So it is unfortunate that many people we encounter in hospitals, the first time we diagnose them with either diabetes or high blood pressure is when they come with a stroke, or with a heart attack, or they come with gangrene, or they come with kidney disease that you cannot explain, and you discover, kumbe they have, diabetes. And that is why we we worry about screening, and that is why when you come to Span Hospital, we are very energetic with doing screening. We do a lot of camps where we educate people about these diseases.
Okay.
We have a lot of programs for screening, especially if you come to a hospital, we always take your blood pressure.
All right.
Because that's the best place to know that you have high blood pressure.
Okay.
Yes.
Daktari has mentioned cholesterol.
Yes.
Inatoka wapi hiyo nayo inaenda kuwa stubborn kwa mwili?
Okay.
And how do we deal with that as well?
Okay. Thank you. Cholesterol, we have what we call good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. So the most notorious one inakwanga bad cholesterol. And bad cholesterol comes from the food that we eat. And most of the foods that are very notorious with bad cholesterol are beef,
okay,
ng'ombe,
beef.
Kuna
mimi nimejisemea nduru hapa. Beef.
Kuna eggs.
Yeah. Eggs.
Yes, mayai. And then we have the milk.
Huh? What?
And then lastly, the cooking fat. Ile inakwanga solid, not the oils. So those are the most notorious foods that contain bad cholesterol. So I'm not, yes. So I'm not condemning them, but what happens is the quantity that you take. You see, some of these conditions we can control them with the amount of food that we take.
Talk about beef.
So beef.
Specifically.
So beef. So you're supposed to, like, for example, beef is good. It contains a lot of nutrients. It has good proteins and etc. But people tend to, for me, I normally say they tend to abuse beef.
Nyama choma.
So what you're supposed to do, beef should be taken like twice, maximum thrice in a week. You get it? Then when you're selecting meat, go for the one that does not contain a lot of fat.
Oh.
Okay? Unajua lean meat.
You rather praise the Lord?
You go for lean meat. Okay? So lean meat is good because it contains a little amount of fat.
Okay.
So you take like meat 3 times in a week. That's
quantity.
Enough.
Does quantity matter?
Quantity matters. For example, we normally say the quantity you take, for example, meat, you can take like 3 to 5 pieces of meat. Yeah? Okay. Sometimes people would wonder how many pieces.
Pardon?
So what you do, 3 to 5 pieces. So what sometimes the quantity in terms of grams. For example, like nyama ya 100, 100 shillings. That is enough for you. Wana ukienda kwa butcher useme nikatie nyama ya 100. That is.
Hiyo yenye katianga
kadogo.
Yenye yote na spending nikionja nikipika ingi.
Exactly. So ile nyama unaonja. That's enough for you.
So
yes. Yes. Then number 2, for example, things like eggs. Don't exceed 3 eggs in a week.
Yes. In a week.
That's spending my eye.
In a week.
Yes. 3 and enough. And remember,
in a week or a day?
In a week.
What?
Okay.
So that's how you have been abusing them.
Okay. Yes. Then, so for example, remember, eggs also come in different forms. There are people who are making pancakes. They contain eggs. So when you're doing that, remember the maximum of 3 eggs in a week. So in pancake or whatever you're making, let them not exceed 3 eggs in a week.
All right.
Milk is good, but sometimes people tend to take a lot of milk. You'll find people, you see, milk is not only fresh milk, even yogurt is milk.
Yeah.
Okay? Because sometimes unaweza pata mtu anakuambia, I don't take milk, I take yogurt. See, the raw material of making milk is making yogurt is milk. Yeah. So the quantity that you take, for example, an normal adult, you should just take like 200 ml, like 2 times in a week. It's enough for you. 200 ml. Not taking milk every day.
Every single day.
Every single day.
Yeah. Okay.
Then, so when you do that, so we encourage people so that you don't accumulate a lot of cholesterol. Because when you find somebody, and Dr. can agree with me, if he takes a person to the laboratory and they do cholesterol, when you ask them what they normally consume a lot, they will tell you among those 4 things. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Does white meat has any issue?
White meat.
So that tunaweza migrate huko.
White meat is okay, but we normally encourage people, for example, if you are taking chicken, to remove the skin. And you see the skin.
Why?
Because that is where fat is stored in the chicken, but you see the other part is okay. Fish is the best. Yes, it has good fat, so you can use that one instead of using the red
deep fried one.
when you deep fry, make sure you're deep frying with oils. Okay?
Oh, not fat.
Not fat.
Okay.
So when you're deep frying, use oils. For example, corn oil or palm oil.
All right.
Yes. Sunflower oils.
Okay.
Hey, nimeuliza sana hata
Okay.
Sasa
Unfortunately, time is really running. Sijui naenda wapi.
Kuna dakika ngapi zimebaki?
But we have like 7.
What?
Yes. Let me take us back kidogo to what you mentioned about you can get diabetes because of the family history. When you realize that probably your mom, your grandmother, they've been having diabetes. Nikijua niko kwa hiyo line, is there a way I can control it? Ama kama mimi niko predisposed to that, nikaange tu nikijua somewhere in my life I'm going to get diabetes.
Na maybe kama si wewe labda mtoto.
Probably mtoto.
How is that?
So in every disease, not only diabetes, so everybody is born with a risk, of getting certain diseases. So if you have a very high family history of diabetes in your family, what you are born with is the risk of getting diabetes. But that does not guarantee that you'll get the disease. And I'll give an example. For example, if you live in I don't know which estate hapa, maybe pali kuna watu wanapigwa ngeta sana. Living in that estate does not guarantee that you'll be utapigwa ngeta. But but kama ni mtu wa mazoea kuingia kwa nyumba saa 10 nini, but kama mazoea yako ni kwenda nyumbani saa 10 ya usiku, you are more likely to get so that's what happens with diabetes. So you're born with that risk. That one you cannot change. But your environment is what makes you get the diabetes. Okay, so in environment, I'm talking about things like your diet. If you are inclined to having a high carbohydrate diet, especially if it is the bad carbohydrates. So having a risk means that your pancreas is at risk of failing. Okay, so if you're keeping it unaipatia these bad carbohydrates, you're keeping on stimulating it, it's more likely to fail if you have that history of diabetes. If you develop too much weight, maybe you're increasing your resistance, making this already at risk pancreas of likely for you to get diabetes. So it is if you're not exercising, you're sedentary, you don't have much exercise in your life. And the other question is, how much exercise? Because I think that's the other question people talk about. When you talk about exercise, people think about running, treadmill, gym. It is not basically that. Actually, the recommended is about 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week. That's about 30 minutes. That's about 30 minutes for 5 days. And it's actually doable. Moderate exercise is basically like brisk walking, going up the stairs, playing with your children. If you have young children, running around with them. For just 30 minutes, that's regarded as moderate exercise. Other people, nowadays people are getting fancy, walking the dog, mowing the lawn, simple gardening, kulimalima, kupandilia shamba. So such things that make you, and how we regard brisk walking is that walking which, when you walk, you're not able to talk to someone. If you're walking, you can have a chat as you walk. That is not brisk walking.
Oh, okay.
But kama unatemea, you have to pause a bit.
Serious walking.
Yes, so it's serious walking. Okay. So, and people, you can integrate this into your life. So instead of coming to work with that you can, walk to work and back to work. So you can actually integrate exercise into your life. You don't have to go to the gym and so on. So we recommend if you are able to get 150 minutes of moderate exercise, or if you prefer vigorous exercise, about 75 minutes per week is adequate. And vigorous exercise is not that gym, jogging, running on the treadmill, lifting weights, that makes you extremely tired. That is what you call vigorous exercise. So you can do that for 75 minutes. That's what you prefer per week.
75 minutes per week. Also, nigawanye nione per session naweza take how
30 minutes.
Yes.
Because also overdoing it sometimes nafika mahali mpaka unasikia what.
And the more you can get, the better for you. Yes.
That's very true.
For exercise, there is no limit to. Of course, don't injure yourself trying to get exercise.
So if someone comes to the hospital and you realize ya kwamba maybe there is stroke or maybe there is, you know, yenyometa ya mguu.
Yes.
So most probably kulikuwa na issue, maybe kuna mahali kulikuwa na hypertension and all these things.
Yes. So in fact, most of those people, if you don't really most like 90%, you will find either diabetes, hypertension that has been undiagnosed for a while. Other people have even been in contact with the hospitals. They've been told you have hypertension and they have refused management. And when we talk about management, people think it's drugs, but most of these things, management involves all these things. And when people come to clinic and, you know, in Outspan Hospital, and also the medical college at large, and that's why even the college, we teach so many cadres. It involves a lot of things, you know, psychological care, because, you know, even being told you have diabetes is a very distressing thing. And, you know, these things have developed because of the lifestyle that you've had. So trying to, you know, take back some of these things is very distressing. So people talk about, you know, have been working, now I have money to buy whatever I can spend. You know, you're telling me I should take, you know, badala pizza I should take, you know, ndoma, you know, now what was I earning all this money for? So you need a lot of psychological support. We also involve nutritionists. We have a lot. We have physiotherapists, so occupational therapy, and so on. So we individualize care to patients. There's no need me telling you to be eating fish and you cannot afford it. So, you know, we have to work with what is available. If you in the village and you have eggs, you know, and you farm beans, you know, you're not able to access meat, take that beans, you know, take meat once in a while. So we individualize care. So there's no one size fits all. Yes.
I'm really praying that you two will come back for another session. There's just something that I'm really getting. But that's what niuliza mwisho hapo nilikwenda kuuliza mambo ni nyamanze. Hii ni muhimu. Ama tena imeisha. Uliza. Okay. Tuseme nimepatikana na I'm diabetic. God forbid. And then sasa nimekuja, I have been instructed what to do, the portions to eat, and this, take here. If I follow what I'll be told to the latter, is there a possibility there's a reverse na nikue free from diabetes?
Yes, there is a chance.
Is there a chance?
There is a chance.
Yes.
And that's why, for example, in our hospital, we give holistic. You see, when you are being told, the doctor amesema, you have diabetes or you have hypertension, it's not an easy thing. Because this is something that you can stay with it the rest of your life. So we have the psychologist who will talk to you, how you're going to cope with your condition. The nutritionist is there. So when we give you the diet, for example, in my docket, what we normally work on, one, we look at the risk factors that are making you to have that condition. For example, obesity, trunk obesity, having abdominal fat. So we'll work on that. We'll give you a very strict diet. For example, in our hospital, we have a program where we manage weight. We do weight management program for our patients because we discovered that most of these conditions come because of having a lot of weight. So if we are able to manage your weight, we normally reverse. And Dr. can testify to that. When they do tests, for example, HB1C, it will be high, maybe 6.8 or 7. But when you follow a strict diet, okay, you'll be able now to revert. But you'll have to have a close monitoring with all the disciplines. That's why we give a holistic approach. You must go to the doctor to check the sugars, how they are. If for example, alikupatia dawa tatu, ata reduce pole. Unaona? So the mistake people make is that wanaenda wanaacha dawa. Unaona? Hawakuji clinic. Unaona? Clinics are important. That's why we have, for example, in our hospital, we have a section where we do a lot of community health education to churches so that people can understand. Diabetes is not, hypertension is not a death sentence. If you have good follow-up, if you can be able to see the nutritionist, you manage the weight, you're able to do the exercise, chances are you will revert back to to normal.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Are these the things you teach your students when they come to Outspan Medical College?
Yes. So one thing I want to emphasize, it is not easy. It can be done, but trust me, it is very difficult to go back to. And the earlier you get someone with these conditions, especially diabetes, the easier it is to reverse. Okay? Because if you are too late, at the point you are probably if you have diagnosed someone in the 70s where they have diabetes for over 40 years, it is unlikely that the pancreas will recover enough to reverse the diabetes. But if you get but if you get someone who is very young, 40-year-old, and they are extremely obese, they don't have any exercise in their lives, and they're able to take care, because those are the things I said. You're born with a risk. The environment is what gives you the disease. So if you're able to reverse that environment that has stimulated the disease, you can go back to the point at which you had the risk. But remember, you have this risk for the rest of your life. So if you reintroduce that environment, you get there. So you need a lot of follow-up, It has to be medically followed up, not just what people, as Simi said, we say in the house and just refuse to take a medication. So it has to be very close follow-up for us.
Very strict discipline.
Yes. And we have centers actually around Kenya which are actually doing that. They actually send us specifically for diabetes reversal. And we also actually trying to set up such a program in Outspan as we speak. Yes, but it needs a lot of collaboration among all those cadres, and you have all those cadres in Outspan, so it will be, that's in the pipeline. Yes.
So when you're asking about the students, you see, our students normally come for practicum in the hospital, so they are able to engage. They experience the same what we do in the hospital. So they go out when they have really gone through the best training, hands-on.
Okay. So I get what you're saying about it's very important for us to go for screening so that we get to know if you're having these conditions early enough so that you're able to reverse it ikiwa at a very early stage. Badala ya kungoja mpaka, now you're seeing the unaona matunda, ndo sasa una realize, I have diabetes, so I need to reverse it. Probably by then itakuwa too late.
Are fruits an issue
in diabetes
when it comes to sugar?
Yes. So yes and no. So
ataturuhusu tuulize hiyo. Aki aturuhusu tu, siaguzwe.
How many minutes? I think we can go for a short break. Let's go for a short break, and then we'll be coming right back. We answer that question and then we wind up.
Sasa tumalize cha ukweli. Nimeuliza fruits because that's one conversation nimeiona sana kwa Twitter. Watu wakiargue wakisema nini haijui kama ni sukari ya nini na nini.
And mixing fruits.
Yes, a short break and then we come back.
So let's go for a very short break to madukani, and then we'll be coming right back so that we'll continue with our discussion. Please usiende mbali. We are having Outspan Medical College and of course Outspan Hospital. And we'll be coming right back.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
Kumpao chicken itakuwa ikisaviwa na
kumpao chicken itasaviwa na noodles. Hizi ni noodles zile za kawaida. Enda tu kabisa, endelea tu bado mpaka ufike mwisho. Yes, unaweza kaifungua sasa. Thank you.
Hivyo. Sasa ndio ukasema.
Sasa
unaipindua sasa wewe.
Sasa unaanza kuikata tu strips. Kwa nini zinakaa hivi mrefu? Zinakaa hivi mrefu kwa sababu ukipata noodles zetu ni mrefu.
Ndio maana tukazikata.
Yes.
In that size.
Yes.
Okay. Zinachanganywa kwa pamoja.
Yes.
Okay, so si ati ni ile unaiserve na
hapana.
Wow, okay.
Changanya zote pamoja ndio ikuwe na ile taste ya nini? Ya peanut butter. Yes.
Pia karama nimeona pia umuhimu wa kutumia ile peanut butter. Nasikia kale karoma. Yes.
Ile mambo ambayo weka kwa mawazo yako. You know, as a man thinketh,
so he is.
So he is. So kama unafikiria mbaya, ndoto mbaya bila shaka itakuwa ikikufuata wakati unalala.
What do you think people need to know? What does the church need to know about spiritual husband and wife?
Only the clean spirit that can deal with unclean spirit. So when we compromise, or people are compromising their spiritual life, where sin takes the center stage, then finally people suffer, not because they are wives in the realm, not because they are husbands in the realm, but because the sin is ruling them.
Welcome to Goshen Medical and Technical College, Thika, where dreams become reality and futures are empowered. At Goshen, we offer a wide range of courses in both the medical and technical fields designed to meet your aspirations. Medical courses such as Kenya Registered Community Nurse, Theatre Technology, Health Records, Orthopedic and Trauma Medicine, Nurse Assistant, Medical Engineering, Laboratory Science Technology. Technical courses like Catering and Hotel Management, Fashion Design, Hairdressing and Beauty Therapy, ICT and Computer Packages, catering to your creative and technological ambitions. Our students receive hands-on experience through industrial attachment, which we organize for them, ensuring that they gain the valuable practical skills. Conveniently located in Thika Makongeni, right off Garissa Highway, behind Leather Industries. Goshen Medical and Technical Training College is easily accessible. With affordable fees, you can pursue your dreams and achieve your goals with Goshen. So what are you waiting for? Call us today at 0750-264-044. Goshen Medical and Training College, Thika.
Empowering future professionals.
Wakati wa kulima umefika. Ukulima bora ni Lovol Tractor. Kwa nini Lovol Tractors? Ni za hadhi ya juu na zina vipengeza ubora zaidi ambazo ni tofauti sana na tractors nyinginezo. Zina warranty ya hadi miaka miwili. Lovol Tractors zinapatikana kutoka 25 horsepower hadi 220 horsepower. Vile vile tuna FM World Combine Harvesters za hadhi ya juu kwa wakulima wanaovuna mchele. Unazipata na warranty ya mwaka mmoja. Lovol Tractors na FM World Combine Harvesters waweza kuzipata kwa mkopo kupitia kwa reputable financial institution in Kenya hadi kiwango cha 90%. Sheria na masharti kutumika. Lovol Tractors na FM World Combine Harvesters zinapatikana Camco Equipment Kenya Limited, authorized distributor of Lovol Tractors and FM World Combine Harvesters in Kenya. Vile vile pale Camco utapata weichai generators zinazotoa umeme kutoka viwango vya 17 kVA hadi 3000 kVA. Forklifts za utofauti sana, wheel loaders za kipekee na equipments nyinginezo. Tunapatikana Nairobi, pale head office ya Tuskys ya zamani, Sit Cabanas main stage, Mombasa Road, na pale Nakuru ni Marshall Building along George Morara Avenue, direct opposite Nakuru County Assembly. Camco Equipment Kenya Limited, your one-stop shop for agriculture and heavy equipments.
MBCI Television, transforming lives.
Okay, we are back after the short break. Na tumesema tuko hapa with Outspanned, really healthy, and also the issue of mixing fruits kama zote pamoja. Tell us about it.
And the sugar as well.
And the sugars in it.
Yes, so that's what I said. So yes and no. So fruits are very, very rich in essential vitamins, especially like vitamin C, a lot of what you call antioxidants, things like help your body take care of toxins and so on. But remember that fruits have a lot of sugar because the fructose and that is in the fruits gets converted into glucose in your body. And so you should, when you're talking about the carbohydrate content of your food, you should take into account the fruits that you're taking, because they are part of the carbohydrate content. And one thing I usually recommend, off the cuff to my clients is to try and take the fruit as a whole. Okay, I'll give you an example. If you want to make orange juice, trust me, you need like around 3-4 oranges to make 1 glass of juice. Okay, but can you eat 4 oranges at a go?
No.
Okay, so I usually advise them instead of so instead of
they're fruits.
So
unaweza kula maembe nini machungwa 4 in one sitting. Oh, you can
in one sitting. Can you just concentrate?
Okay. But if you juice that orange, if you juice those 4 oranges into a glass, you can drink it and take 4 oranges at a sitting. So you've taken so much sugar at a sitting. So I would advise that person to eat the orange and drink water, and thereby they reduce the amount of sugar that they have taken. Okay. So
the same applies for mangoes.
Yes.
And like all the fruits.
Yes.
So to avoid fruit juice.
What happens?
Not avoid. I'm not trying to make life very difficult for people.
Why are you becoming emotional?
No.
I have been taking fruit juice all my life.
Once in a while, take it. But at the back of your mind, be cognizant of what you're taking. That when you take a glass of a glass of orange juice, you've just taken 4 oranges. Okay. So if you're struggling with weight, sugars and whatever, you should avoid it. But if I look at you, you don't look like you're struggling with it. So that will not be.
Let's come to this other thing. Probably seme mtu kama unajua you're not struggling with probably weight loss with that. But now you take, because of that, you feel like you are okay with taking lots of sugar. We have one of us, anakunywanga Minute Maid inatoshana hivi almost daily, probably because they know they're not struggling with weight. So is that an issue? Ukijua you're not struggling with weight and hauna history of diabetes and all that, now are you okay to take sugar?
Yeah, so no, it's just like the same analogy of saying excuse for this. Sugar is not benign, it can still, and that's why you don't have to be overweight for you to develop diabetes.
Exactly.
You can still develop diabetes because of taking very high sugars, from what I alluded to. This constant exposure to stressing and whatever. So it's not without risk, and everybody has their own. That's why I keep going back to. There's the risk and the people, even if they do all these bad things, they don't develop the disease. The same way, people who have smoked, 50, 60 years and they never develop any problem. But someone just smokes for 10 years and gets lung cancer. So every person is built differently. So you'd rather. Or these people who drive carelessly, they've never gotten an accident, but someone tries that and so it does not mean that driving carelessly should be encouraged. So I wouldn't encourage people to take high sugar diet because they don't have
risk factors.
Yes.
On that on fruits, sometimes I like to clarify a bit. When somebody is diabetic, that's where we normally try to encourage them not to take a lot of fruits. Because fruits contain a lot of sugar, and we discourage them from taking, as you said, Minute Maid. Those processed sugars, they are not the best for diabetics because basically they don't contain vitamins. So for a diabetic person, they should just take a whole fruit, okay? Like one in the morning, lunchtime, and supper. Just one fruit is enough, because what they need is the vitamins. If they consume a lot of fruits, because fruits contain a lot of sugar, what we call fructose, they'll end up raising their sugars. So for diabetic persons, remember, fruits should, for me as a nutritionist, you should make sure food, that's why we do what we call medical nutrition therapy. When you come to me as committee, I should take you as committee, not as okay. Yes, personalized. That's why in our hospital we normally personalize the treatment to you, tailor-made for you, because for you, you just need what you have been using to be able to control your sugar. So for fruits, don't go tell diabetic people consume a lot of fruit because they are good. they'll end up even coming back with high sugars.
Very true.
Yeah.
And you know, when you have mentioned that, you have reminded me of a case of a man who had diabetes, and he went to a certain hospital that I won't mention here, and the doctor there recommended him to be taking fruits. Hata hakuzunguka, I think 1 year, and we lost him.
Yeah. Because maybe he was taking a lot of fruits.
Because unajua, when it comes from the doctor, kula matunda. Yes. Sasa asubuhi matunda, saa 7 matunda. I think pantries kasema. And we ended up losing it.
Yes.
So I think quantities is very key. And
quantity is important.
Is there a type of fruit that a diabetic person can take? Ama ni fruits zote tu ziko na sugars?
All the fruits contain sugars. What is the difference is the amount of sugar they contain. But basically they contain. Then we don't try to tell people take apples when you know very well where the patient comes there are no apples. You see, that's why it's important when you are giving the advice, you make sure it's tailor-made. What do you have in your house? So that we can use that one. Because it's easier to manage you with what you normally have in the house than going to buy something that you don't have. Yeah, because that makes even the management easier for the patient and comfortable.
Ni kama tutamalizia hapo. Although nilikuwa nataka kuuliza ile issue ya ni kama siulizi, but kama mimi wakidimu ni sawa tu. Ile but sasa mimi ni wewe ninaongelesha. Ile ya sawa. Wanasema no. Nishaisikia ile story yenye watu wanasemanga ati nini yake haikupanda, ati sukari ndio ilishuka. Kuna kitu kama hiyo?
I think
the sugars went down.
The sugars went down below normal. Do we have such a case?
Okay, yes.
And it's more dangerous kuliko ya sukari kupanda. Is it true?
Yes. So number one, it's very rare for your sugars to go down. Number one, if you don't have a problem, and number two, if you're not on treatment. So some of the risk we encounter when you're managing diabetes is that you can treat and correct, because of course the treatment that we give for diabetes they have two roles. Number one is to reduce the blood glucose, because that constant high blood glucose in your system is bad for your body. And number two, we use drugs that have been shown to have benefit. You just don't want to lower your sugar for the sake of lowering it. You want, so these drugs that we use have been shown in trials, done in many people to show benefit over time. So, but with time we've gotten off these medications that cause low sugar, because we recognize it's actually more dangerous. Because low sugar, so high sugars and diabetes will, give problems with time. For 5 years, we are trying to mitigate your future risk of cardiovascular disease. But low sugar can kill you now. So it's very dangerous. Okay. So in fact, when you're treating, that's one thing we avoid at all costs. That
yes. Low sugar can kill you now. How?
Why? Because if you give something to lower your sugar very low, because I told you glucose is the primary food source, the primary energy source for your body. And one of the organs that is very highly dependent on glucose is your brain. Your brain only knows glucose as an energy source. So if you deprive your brain of glucose, it just takes about a few minutes, for it to go. And that's why we are very worried about low sugar. And if you give you treatment for diabetes and if you discover that it's causing you to have low sugar, we stop it.
How do you know?
Yes, science. So if you so diabetes management is very complex, and one of the things we monitor is if you're taking medications that can lower your blood sugar, and this includes things like insulin, or people inject insulin, or some other drugs we use that stimulate your pancreas produce insulin. We ask the patients to monitor their sugars. So we give them a schedule of when they should monitor their sugars. So routinely, like when they wake up, before meals, before they go to bed, and if they get symptoms. So the good thing is that usually when your sugar goes down, the body makes you feel it. The same way you feel when you're hungry. You start being agitated, you feel angry, you start shivering. So those are some of the symptoms you feel on your sugar. So most of the times we teach Not most of the time. We always teach people with diabetes to recognize those symptoms and to act accordingly if they get those symptoms. So number one, to test. When they feel that, they test. If they're not able to test, they'd rather just take something with a lot of sugar to correct that low sugar.
Kuna mmoja nisikia alikorogea yangu sukari hapo bwana. Alafu akapewa kama kashau.
And it makes you recover almost immediately.
Karudi. We even teach them they are caretakers. Because it's a big problem, especially with type 1 diabetes, who are dependent on insulin. And we even teach the parents, their siblings and so on to recognize, because sometimes you might get the low sugar and you are too weak to get that. So people should someone to help so usually tell people, and if you tell people to carry sweets, biscuits in their pocket, glucose, such things. If you feel that, you just take it. Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think we'll need to wind up for you. We'd love to have this conversation for a longer time. Thank you so much for coming. We really learned a lot. I think more than we all expected, even the viewers. Now let's talk about Outspan kidogo. For people who want to join, where is it located? How can they join?
And the contacts, all that.
Yeah.
So Outspan Medical College is located in Nyeri, just a few kilometers from Nyeri town, on Paden Powell Well, past the famous Outspan Hotel.
Okay.
So when you reach there, you will find the hospital. So from the hospital to the college is about 500 meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we normally teach medical courses. The medical courses that we do are clinical medicine, nursing, a diploma, also clinical medicine, a diploma, counseling psychology, diploma and certificate. We have health records, diploma and certificate, and we also have nutrition and dietetics, diploma and certificate. So the Outspan Medical College is accredited by various bodies which normally govern the training, because the students who train in our college are able to be certified by the Nursing Council, the Clinical Medicine Council Board, the Nutrition and Dietetics Council, and all the councils that are there, so they are able to be licensed. So the intake is ongoing. Yeah, we also have higher diploma for critical care nursing. Yeah, we are training critical care nursing. So the intake is ongoing, and you are able to reach. We are all on all social medias.
All right.
We also, when you check on our website, you will be able to see the contacts there. They have the numbers there. You can call the numbers and you can be able to inquire for the training.
There you go.
And the Outspan Hospital is found also in Nyeri. And we normally have various clinics. We have all the specialties in Outspan Hospital. Our clinics are open for MOPC, medical clinic. They are always from Monday to Friday. Yes.
So yes, we run the medical care clinic Monday to Friday. Adding to that, so Outspan Medical College exists as the broader Outspan Teaching and Referral Hospital, which involves the Outspan Hospital and Outspan Medical College. And actually, we trying to transform to a university by 2026. And part of the steps we have undertaken, we actually now even starting training for specialist doctors. Okay, and starting actually 2025, we'll be training our first batch of surgeons in Outspan Hospital. And that's this is in line with our vision to become a university and training actual medical doctors and specialists. That's part of the things we are offering. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you for coming. I know that we've learned a lot. Now time imeenda and we need to wind up so that we can also pave way for the mid-morning that is coming up. But thank you so much. We've had an amazing time, and I know that you've all learned. So now we'll just get one song, which means watu wa Facebook na YouTube tutaonana kesho majaliwa. Now for now we'll be getting just one song, and then we'll be coming back for the today's inspiration as we wind up. Others, thank you so much for tuning in. Time is unfortunately not together with us, so wacha tumalize. We will see you hopefully next time.
You have to
we'll plan for